Kubra Khan, such a pleasure to be with you. How are you?
All good, thank you. Tired.
How does a girl from northwest London become one of the most famous faces in Pakistan?
Oh, when you say it like that, I don't know. I think it's just kismet, I would say, and a lot of hard work. Like Khan Saab says, ki niyat achhi honi chahiye, and Allah will give you the ajr. So.
Tell me how you decided to make that move out there. You were a successful model here in the UK. What made you decide to shift out there?
You know, funny thing is that I never decided. I think the universe kind of conspired against me at that point, what felt like, and just threw me in Pakistan, and the next thing I knew, I just kind of settled down there. Like when I was shooting here, I went to Pakistan a couple of times before. I shot for Na Malum Afraad. Even then, although I did really, really well, mashallah, but even then I was like, I don't know if acting's my thing. Like I just wasn't sure if I could do it because I never learnt acting at all. So I was like, I'm not sure if I can do it. I don't know if it's my thing. I don't really know the people. I don't know the environment. So I came back here. And for 2 years, I was here studying. I resumed my life in London and stuff. It was only after Sange Marmar, even during Sange Marmar, I was like, yeah, no, it's not it.
So let's just break it down for people who aren't familiar with Na Malum Afraad or Sange Marmar. You were essentially signed up for one of the biggest movies in Pakistani cinema and subsequently were offered massive dramas on TV too. Tell me how those things happened.
Okay, so I'm going to start from the scratch now. I was modeling here. I started modeling at the age of, I think, 16, 17 or something like that. I was actually in a mall with my best friend, and this man came up to me and he's like, I think you should model. He gave the card to my friend, and I was like, obviously not. So that happened, and my friend was actually just studying photography at school. So she used to take lots of pictures of me. What she did, she actually sent pictures to like various different agencies. And one fine day I received this email like past like midnight from this agency called TMP, which is now called BAME, run by Marcus Flemings. He basically messaged me and he's like, look, we'd like to do a test shoot with you, we received your photos and stuff. And I was like, what? I never sent any photos. So anyways, I went for the test shoot, they signed me up, and then I started booking stuff and all that. It was really nice. Then through that, I found out about this casting call for this TV show that was being done, which was being filmed by Ahmed Ali Butt and Fatma Khan, which was called Fashionista Fatma at that point. It was a lifestyle show. So they needed a model to model their clothes and the makeup and stuff for a day, and they would talk about the life in UK and all that jazz. So I did that, and Fatma Baji and I, and Ahmed Ali Butt as well, we got really, really close. So the following year, they were getting married. And also, they were the one who actually realized that I think I have a knack for acting, because every time they put music on, I just, you know, start with my little dramas and all that stuff. So I did that, and they were like, you know, I think you can act. I'm like, I really don't think so. So they were getting married. They invited me to their wedding, and when I went there, they told me that, you know, I should, while I'm here, I might as well, you know, get some photo shoots done and stuff. So I did some photo shoots, and then Ahmed Ali Butt's wife said that there's a casting going on for this commercial called Youth on Youth Pack. So why don't you do an audition? If it works out for you, cool. If it doesn't, then obviously, you know, at least you tried. I'm like, okay, I'll try it out. I did that and got signed for the commercial. At the end of the commercial, they offered me another one because, like, Ehsan Rahim liked working with me, I guess. So yeah, I signed another one, and then I came back. That was it. That was the end of it. But then the following year, one fine day, I received an email from Nabil Qureshi, and he's like, I was just browsing through Facebook and I came through your pictures, and I'd like to work with you. We're doing this movie called, he never mentioned the movie's name, but he said we're doing a movie and we'd really like to work with you. And I thought he was just some random guy, you know, like, because a lot of people were approaching me at that point after the commercial, so I think he just saw the commercial, so he's like trying to, you know, slide into my DMs, I would say. Yeah, so he hadn't seen my commercial apparently. He just saw my pictures. I didn't respond to him. Then he got back to me again. He referenced the commercial at that point, saying that I worked with Ehsan Rahim. I found out that you worked with him as well. I'm a legitimate guy, so just, you know, like, at least hear us out. I said, okay. So I did that, and I did the audition, and within 5 days, I was in Pakistan shooting for that. I shot the movie for about, I think, 15 days or so. And after the movie, I came back here again. I was like, yep, I'm done. I'm not doing this. This is not my thing. And for 2 years, I spent studying and working here and stuff. And 2 years later, I got a call from MD, which I had gotten before as well. Even during the movie, I had gotten the call, but I ignored it because it wasn't something I wanted to do.
MD is Momina Dared. She's the most powerful producer in Pakistan. So what do you do when the most powerful woman in the industry calls you up?
I'm like, meh. At that point, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really sure. Initially, when when MD contacted me initially, It was like, we'd like to work with you, so if there's a script, we'll let you know. I'm like, okay, sure. It wasn't something I was looking to do. Acting, apparently when I was a baby, that's when I used to like dance to Bollywood songs and stuff, my mom tells me. But it wasn't something that was in my bucket list that, I have to become an actor or something like that. But 2 years later, when they called me, they messaged me saying that, there's a beautiful script. It's about, Pathan culture and stuff. And all he did was tell me the story. I had no idea that like such big names such as Nomanija, Sania Said and Mikhail Zulfikar and, all these people are going to be in the drama. I had no idea about that. He just told me the story and I fell in love with it. I'm like, you know what? Let me try it out. Let's see how it goes. So I went to Pakistan, went to Swat and stuff, and we shot the entire drama. Even after that, I came back home. I was like, yeah, okay, once it's done, I've gotten it out of my system, it's good. No idea, no intention of going back. But then it just rolled. Like, it was like a snowball effect. Like, that happened, then Khuda Aur Mohabbat happened, then Muqabil happened. After Muqabil, I got the Chaska Ho Gaya, I would say. But it was more like what Muqabil and Sangeet Marmar did for me. It influenced so many people, and that was something I always wanted to do. I've always been known as a nurturer, I would say. So that I really, really like that, through my work, I was able to actually help people, and I really love that. Like, even if you see the history of my dramas, I think 80% of them have been based on social issues, and I always feel that as actors, whether we want it or not, we have this power to influence our community and our society around us. And if we are going to influence them, we might as well do it in a way that we can enlighten them, because it's whatever we show in the media becomes the norm. Whatever we show in the media is, that's the source of information for a lot of people. So why not enlighten them and tell them about the things that are going on in our society and in the world?
You grew up in this country, here in London, but you moved to a country that's perceived in Western media as being oppressive towards women. Were you afraid about those perceptions, and did those views change once you got there?
I think my perceptions changed the second I stepped into Pakistan, because I spent my entire life here. So I always thought that, Pakistan, there'll be like closed-minded people. I did think, I'm going to be honest, I was a little judgmental. But when I got there, I had a cultural shock, not because I was like, oh, it's Pakistan. It was like, whoa, this is Pakistan? When did that happen? I'm like, when I was here last, I don't remember any of this happening.
In what sense? Describe that.
Everyone was so much more modern. Everyone was open-minded. There were women working outside, women, working in offices and stuff. And there was like these parties that were going on. Everyone just like living their life, no restriction, no oppression. I was like, I don't remember this. This never used to happen before. Of course, at that point when I went to Pakistan for the first time, the elections were happening. So obviously there was this entire political issues going on. And you weren't allowed to get out the house and stuff. This happened as well. But when I went around this time, it was completely different. Of course you have these terrors every now and then, but life of a woman in Pakistan is, I wouldn't say it's definitely not, but it's not half as bad as it's shown on TV. Of course there are women who are oppressed. Of course there are women who have been suppressed and they have to stay inside the house. But one thing I've realized, once you decide that, no, I'm going to break out of this cage and I will do what I want to do in my life, and I want to make my family proud or myself proud, you can go ahead and do anything.
What about the quality of life that you sacrificed here in London in exchange for your new base, which is Karachi?
Honestly, I think I was talking about my work, I think my work passion just increased so much that it didn't matter. The first 11 months I stayed in guest house and hotels, and I would work like 15 hours, come back to a dark room alone, and I would get really, really depressed. For 11 months I had no family, no friends, and the people I used to work with as well, it was just at work. Because I would say I'm a bit of an introvert.
Does it get lonely in Pakistan?
Oh yeah, till date it gets lonely, very lonely to be honest. But it's okay because I have a very few number of friends who I can call mine. So if I get too lonely, I can just be like, I'm sad, talk to me, I'm needy right now. But yeah, it gets really lonely to be honest.
There must have been a sense of validation, a sense of pride when you were offered a role in 2 of this Eid's big releases. In many ways, you accomplished what you'd set out to achieve.
Honestly, I didn't have a target. Like I said, I didn't even have a target of becoming an actor at the first place. So I didn't have a target that, I have to do this and then, whatever happens. So there was a sense of achievement when I was doing the movies and stuff, but it was a lot more stressful when I found out they're releasing on Eid together. I was like, no, why? What am I going to do? Who am I going to promote? So that was a little stressful. But of course, there are 3 movies coming out, and 2 of them are my movies, and I own both of them fully, and I am proud. My mother's very proud, and she's hardly ever proud of me.
Were your family apprehensive about you moving out to Pakistan?
Initially, yeah, because I never decided to move. It just happened. Like
Yeah, of
it was
course.
just like a glide. Just
A gradual process.
yeah, exactly. So like I never decided on anything that I've done so far. It just happened, to be honest. So yeah, I remember telling her that, hey, I'm gonna go and do a drama in Pakistan. She's like, okay, that's fine. And then I was like, hey, I'm going again. Hey, I'm going again. For 11 months, I kept saying that, and she's like, okay. I'm like, Mom, do you think I should just like move there? Because I'm working quite a bit. I don't get a single day off. I only come home for like 5 days anyways. And I'd still do the same thing, but at least I would be at peace of mind in my own place. And she was very supportive about it. Honestly, without my family's support, my sister, my brother-in-law, my mother, my father, every single one of them, without them, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now.
You're the female lead in Jawani Phir Nahi Aani too. You're paired opposite Humayun Saeed, who's a massive superstar in Pakistan. The role that you have in that movie is much bigger than something you might have been offered if you tried your hand at acting here in the UK. Is that why you decided to work in Pakistan?
Probably, yeah, probably not. No, that wasn't really the reason, to be honest. I think the reason I chose to become a part of Jawani Phir Nahi Aani, and you can ask Humayun the same thing, I was very apprehensive at first. I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I want to be a part of such an ensemble cast, because it does fade you out a little bit, to be honest. And it was actually Humayun who convinced me to do it, because the first time he told me, I was having dinner with my sister, and he's like, hey, I want to talk to you about a movie. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, is this JPN too? And he's like, haha, I'll talk to you about it. I'm like, okay. And then he called me back. He's like, so there's this character, it's going to be opposite me and stuff. And a lot of people used to tell me, because obviously the thing is there is influence around you as well. People say a lot of stuff. So a lot of people were like, are you sure you want to be a part of JPNA? I mean, there's no like role for girls in JPNA and stuff.
Look at the accusations of the first film. It was called vulgar, it was called misogynistic. You were joining a franchise that was known for offending women.
Yeah, and they've taken a complete turn this time. When I read the script and when I spoke to Humayun and Nadeem Beg, the director, they really completely changed my mind, because this one's a complete turn. You know, this time I think in a way, like, women, I wouldn't say they're leading the movie, but the women are they play a very important part.
So does this reflect a changing attitude towards women in Pakistan?
Yes, that's exactly why. Even with Parvaz Janoon, it's the same thing. I think like the movies we're coming out with now, they're becoming lesser male-oriented and, you know, more on like, I guess, equality, if not women empowerment, at least. And I think that's a beautiful thing. The fact that we can actually talk about it openly. We don't have to worry about, no, shut her down. It wasn't like that. It was more like, yeah, let's do it together. And I like that. I like that unity now.
So now that you're a top movie star in Pakistan...
I love it when you say that, because I don't feel it.
Well, you certainly are. If we look at your credentials over the past 2 years, you've worked in some of the biggest projects in the country. Are you less inclined to explore opportunities in the UK?
I would love to work here if a good opportunity comes up. Like in the past year, there were a couple of opportunities, to be honest, but they just weren't something that I was looking for. One of them was actually a lead of this series on Netflix, and
That was an Indian series, wasn't it?
Yes, that was an
Was
Indian
it Sacred
series.
Games?
No. Was it? No, it wasn't.
You said you played an Indian soldier in it, and that's why you didn't want to do it. So
No, that's not the one. Yeah, that was like a era-based one.
Okay,
It's going to
was
be coming out soon. Maybe it was Sacred. No, it wasn't. I haven't watched Sacred Games, actually. I wouldn't know.
Okay, I'm very curious about that, because...
That'd be interesting.
I must ask you, Kubra, what do you miss most about living in the UK or being here in London on a daily basis?
The thing is, what I missed about UK doesn't exist anymore. The fact that I could just go out to like Harrow or Central and not be recognized, and just, you know, be walking around with my backpack, my sketchbook, my camera, and my headphones, and not worry about like, oh, that's Kubra Khan. Like, it's not that it happens too much, but it does happen now. Like, I can't just sit down at McDonald's sitting like this, you know, just listen to music. I can't do that anymore.
So you've lost your anonymity here in the UK too?
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I miss UK overall, I would say, and I feel like, you know, you miss UK when you start missing the tubes. I hated the tubes. I used to hate, because I used to travel by them so much, but now I'm like, I miss the tubes. And my mom's like, are you normal? I'm like, I don't know. Am I?
Kubra, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.